The surge of migrants at the border continues to put people in peril.
The desperation of potential migrants who are arriving at the border.
Amid the surge, Texas makes a new push to fight human smuggling.
This law also increases criminal penalties for human smuggling, especially when payment is involved in that process.
A new law aims to crack down on smugglers, what Border Patrol agents are looking for, and why the law may not help them catch criminals. 2 more state House members say they're leaving the ledge. They join a growing group who don't plan to seek re-election. We'll look at who's getting out of politics and who's gearing up for 2022. Plus, problems when it comes to prosecuting public officials for corruption. A move to make the process less political leads to few punishments handed down. Our Justice for Some investigation looks into reasons why.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. The federal government continues to either deport migrants at the border in Del Rio or send them to other places in Texas. This video from our colleagues at Border Report shows planes landing in El Paso with Haitian migrants. The El Paso County judge said more than 1,000 Haitians would be flown in from Del Rio for processing. The judge added the migrants are subject to removal under the federal Title 42 health order. On Tuesday, Governor Greg Abbott visited Del Rio. He vowed to continue sending state resources to the border while blaming the White House for encouraging the surge of migrants.
When you have an administration that has abandoned any pretense of securing the border and securing our sovereignty, you see the onrush of people like what we saw walking across this dam.
Immigration experts say the change in rhetoric from the Trump to Biden presidency has encouraged more migrants to try to cross the border. But that's just one factor in the surge. For Haitians, a series of natural disasters, the July assassination of the country's president, and increasing gang violence are all factors pushing people to make the dangerous journey to the U.S.
The desperation of potential migrants who are arriving at the border. It conveys the confusion about what the policy is at the border. And I think, it's obviously a really tough situation that hopefully by implementing some of these solutions, we can start to avoid more of these in the future.
Bolter says one key solution is processing asylum claims faster. Right now, handling those claims can take anywhere between 6 months to several years. While he was in South Texas, the governor also signed a new law that aims to crack down on human smuggling. Maggie Glenn reports on what Border Patrol agents are looking for and how often smugglers are actually caught.
The Saturday incident at the hotel, some of the individuals told us that they had been there for over 30 days.
Over the weekend in the Rio Grande Valley, Border Patrol came across a group of 12 migrants who were smuggled across our southern border, staying in a single hotel room in Edinburgh.
Somebody spotted suspicious activity and notified us, and our Border Patrol agents went out there, observed 2 individuals that were ultimately harboring additional subjects there.
The Rio Grande Valley sector alone has discovered a significant increase in stash houses hiding smuggled migrants.
The 425 migrant stash houses that we've encountered this year is about a 250% increase over last year.
That's why the governor signed SB 576 into law Wednesday. It broadens the definition of a smuggler and expands the scope of second-degree felony charges related to smuggling.
This law makes it easier to arrest and to prosecute human smugglers. This law also increases criminal penalties for human smuggling, especially when payment is involved in that process.
But that won't solve the problem completely. Border Patrol says catching smugglers in the act is tricky.
The person that is harboring the individuals there will not be on location when law enforcement agents arrive. They know that there is consequences for their illicit activity.
Still, Border Patrol is hoping the new law will serve as a warning.
Any operation that imposes stiffer fines or jail time for individuals is a deterrent, and we appreciate the assistance that we can get.
Maggie joins us now. This was a ceremonial signing. That bill became law on September 1st. Has it had any effect so far?
It's kind of a little bit too soon to tell. We won't be getting that type of data for at least a few months. I did speak with, however, that Border Patrol agent in the Rio Grande Valley. He says he's not really sure how much of an impact this law will have, especially because, again, like he was talking about before, it's pretty tough to actually catch the human smugglers in the act. When they find these stash houses, obviously they do find these migrants that have been hiding in these places, but it's very rare for the actual human smuggler themselves to be with those migrants when they find them.
And you've been following the plan to open space in Texas prisons to hold migrants. How is the crackdown on human smuggling affecting that plan?
So this is actually something new that we learned this week, because before we were told that it was just migrants being housed at these TDCJ prison units that have been converted into temporary jails, again, to house these migrants. But we actually learned that some U.S. citizens who have been arrested related to Operation Lone Star for human smuggling are actually also being held in the Briscoe unit in Dilley. So again, something new that we learned this week, and we continue to get daily updates with TDCJ to make sure that we're staying on top of the latest.
Now, Governor Abbott called on President Biden to issue an emergency declaration due to the situation in Valverde County. What is he asking for specifically, and what's been the response?
So this is largely because the large amount of migrants that were under that bridge in Del Rio, the governor says that that's causing so much strain on the existing community as it is, that he's requesting help from the federal government. So this would be like requesting help in the same way that a governor would to a hurricane hitting the coast. He says that this recent surge is so detrimental to that community that he's asking for both federal funding and federal resources to come in and help.
A big, important story. Thank you for following it, Maggie.
Thanks, Josh.
Prosecuting public officials for corruption. Why a move to make the process less political has seen few punishments handed down. Justice for some, our investigation coming up. 2 more state house members join a growing list of lawmakers who won't seek re-election. But the reasons why are different. We look at who's leaving politics and who's aiming for higher office. Lawmakers passed a bail reform bill last month, but Governor Abbott wants them to do more. How a new proposal would further tighten rules on bail, and why you could have the final say on what takes effect.